Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hi, everyone. Let me know who is here. Let me know if you are here live or if you are watching the replay. I know many of you end up watching the replay later and don't end up making the live event. So just let me know after if you're here and you're listening. And I'm so excited. I'm going to just jump right in today. I am going to tell you about a time that I missed my flight to Costa Rica because I was so busy chasing a boy around the airport trying to get him to kiss me. And this is not a story of when I was a kid or when I was a teenager. This is literally something that happened less than 2 years ago. And so I am just going to be raw. I'm going to be real. I'm going to be honest with you guys. And so just give me permission in the chat. Do I have your permission to share my bleeding heart, to be open with you, to be honest with you, to be raw, to be vulnerable, and to share all of my messiness with you? Let me know in the chat if I have your permission. And let's just take a moment. Let's just take a breath. This is not going to be a long live, but let's just start with centering ourselves. God knows I need it. I've been running around feeding Zeffy. I was waiting for Levi to get off a call for a recruiter for a new job. And so I need this just as much as you. So just close your eyes for a minute and just take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. And just setting into this moment. Breathing in. Breathing out. Just take one more deep breath and allow this breath to flow from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet, letting everything just fade away. And then coming into your heart, maybe placing your hands on your heart if that feels good to you. And breathe into your heart. And breathe out. And breathe into self-love. As self-love is the theme this month for September. And ask yourself, what does it feel like to really love myself? To really honor myself? And breathe into that. And breathe out. And then just starting to come into this space. Notice what you can heal. Notice what you can smell. Notice what you can taste. Notice what you feel. And then whenever you're ready, opening up your eyes. And notice what you can see. I'm really excited. So if for some reason anyone doesn't know me, my name is Rose Janetti Kendall, and I call myself a love leader, a spiritual coach. I have many labels. And I became who I call myself today because of years of heartbreak, years of getting my heart broken. And to be quite honest, not choosing self-love. And so, we're doing this month of self-love. And today I was meditating, and this is actually an impromptu live. And I didn't have plans to go live today, but I was meditating today. And in my meditation, I can't help but laugh. In my meditation, I got brought back to the moment that I'm going to talk about today. I got brought back to a heartbreak and how it all led to me learning self-love and me getting married and having my baby. And so I had missed my flight to Costa Rica. I was going to Costa Rica for a shamanic sexual retreat. And I missed my flight. I missed my flight to Costa Rica chasing a man around the airport, hoping that he would kiss me because I lack self love. And so, for the story, let's call this man Jay. And this man Jay, I was so in love with. I was so in love with him. And for 3 years, for 3 long years, I tried to make me and Jay something that it never was. And so we ended up at the airport together, me on my way to Costa Rica, and him on his way to Hawaii. And this was after getting 2 flat tires on the way. His flight was 2 hours behind mine, and it was looking like we were cutting it close. And he wasn't going to make his flight, but I was going to make mine. And we ended up getting to the airport. Oh, I'm sorry. My flight was 2 hours after his. Wait. No, wait. How did that work? Yes. Yeah. His flight was taking off before my flight was taking off. So he had thought that he wasn't going to make his flight. And so after getting 2 flat tires, we ended up at the airport, and I ended up just telling him to just run and try to catch his flight. His flight ended up getting delayed, and we ended up at the airport after it got delayed, and I ended up walking Jay to his gate while he was leaving for Hawaii, and I had thought that I had enough time to make my flight. And what ended up happening is I ended up missing my flight, and he ended up making his flight, all because all I wanted was just for him to kiss me. And it sounds so ridiculous looking back, but I knew in my soul, I knew in my heart that this was going to be the last moment I was going to see Jay. And I just wanted that kiss that I had been looking for, that I had been hoping for, that I had been praying for 3 years. 3 years of just waiting. And this was our last moment together. At least I knew it. I knew it in my soul. It was our last moment together. And I just was hoping that he would just kiss me. And so I thought that if I just walked him to his gate, if I just bowed down to him, if I showed him love, that I would just get that final last kiss and he would love me. And, that day he had said to me, we were sitting down for lunch, funny enough. We were sitting at lunch and drinking, and we got a drink right next to my gate. We were having lunch right next to my gate. Let that sink in. And I ended up walking him to his gate, despite him telling me that my gate was right here and that I didn't need to walk him. But I did it anyways. And I remember the moment that I watched him board that plane, and he just looked back at me and he waved. And I didn't get that kiss. And I walked away, I remember, with tears running down my face. And I can still to this day hear the words that he had told me during lunch, saying, "I love you, Jenna. You're the most amazing woman I've ever met in my life. But I don't love you the way that you want me to love you. I can't love you romantically." And I just remember walking away from that gate and hearing those words, and then walking to my gate to board my plane. And when I got there, the door was closed and the plane was taking off. And I did everything in my power to try to get on that plane. And they had told me that they had closed the doors at boarding time, and it was just taking off right at the time that it had said that it was taking off. I thought I had enough time. And so this story was the greatest lesson of self-love for me. It was the final test after 29 years. At the time I was 29, of 29 years of me lacking self-love, that I finally, for the first time, finally got it. That I had to stop choosing men who didn't love me, couldn't love me, wouldn't love me, over loving myself. And it's funny because Jay himself once told me that the universe is going to keep attracting men that don't love me as long as I don't love myself, hoping that I would get a clue. And looking back, Jay was the biggest lesson in self-love. He was never supposed to be my husband or my partner, but he was supposed to be a great lesson to learn self-love. And so after this happened, my heart was completely broken. I was hysterically crying. I couldn't get to Costa Rica until the next day at the same time. And so can you guess who I called? Levi, my now husband. I ended up calling Levi, hysterically crying. And once again, Levi had picked up the pieces, as he always had, for every broken heart that I had had from the time I met him. And he made it okay, like he always did. And it was, I'm crying looking back because here I was, chasing a man that didn't love me. Here I was, chasing a man who wouldn't kiss me. And there was a man who had never disappointed me, had never hurt me, had loved me no matter how many men I dated or no matter how many men that I was with. He still stayed by my side through every single heartbreak, even up into the very last heartbreak that I experienced when Jay wouldn't kiss me. And Levi, once again, was there on the other line of the phone, making everything okay. And that moment was the moment that I finally decided that I was going to choose self-love over chasing men that didn't love me. And it was the final message that I got from the universe telling me that Levi was the one. Levi was the one that I was going to spend my life with. It was only 2 weeks after Jay had, left me kissless and stranded in the airport that I ended up getting engaged to Levi. And so the next day I ended up going to Costa Rica, and I ended up going to ISTA, which is a International School of Temple Arts, has sacred sexuality retreat, or I would like to call it a self-love retreat. And the message from the universe, the lesson of self-love, continued throughout that whole retreat. The lesson of not choosing men over choosing myself continued after lesson after lesson after lesson. But that was the final failure. That was the last time I was ever going to fail in self-love. And I finally got the memo then. And in me finally getting the lesson, it led to my beautiful life now. And I say that authentically. I hope you can feel me and feel my honesty and feel my truth when I share how much I'm in love with my husband and I'm in love with my son. And if Jay would have kissed me, I most likely would not be where I am today. If he would have kissed me, I wouldn't have married Levi. And I wouldn't have my Zephyr, who is the love of my life. The only boy I will ever chase for kisses. Again, my little Zephyr. But sometimes our greatest heartbreak leads to the greatest love we will ever have, which is ourselves, which would then lead to the greatest projection of the love that we have for ourselves, which is our true life partner. And so I share this story because I remember it was less than 2 years ago. It was December 15th of 2022 that this had happened. It was only recently, less than 2 years ago, that I learned to choose loving myself over choosing loving a man. So I remember it. And I want to help and I want to lead and I want to guide you women back to self-love so that you don't have to make the same mistakes that I made. Or maybe you'll just make a little bit less mistakes and you'll learn a little bit faster than I learned it. And it's okay how many times the universe has given you lessons of self-love, and no matter how many times you haven't learned the lesson and how much you haven't heard it, the universe is going to keep sending it, just like Jay told me. The universe is going to keep sending you men, people who don't love you the way that you need them to love you, the way that you want them to love you. As long as you stop, as long as you aren't loving yourself. Everything in our life is a mirror. Everything in our life is a projection screen of who we are, the thoughts we think, the feelings that we have. I believe, and it's my belief, that we manifest this reality in our image. You know, I grew up Christian and I don't identify completely with Christianity, but some things about Christianity have stuck. And, you know, the Bible says in Genesis that God created the world in his image. Well, who is God? What if you are God and you are creating the world in your image with the thoughts that you think, the feelings that you feel, the beliefs that you have? And if you keep believing that you are unworthy of love or undeserving of love, or if you keep believing that a man is going to fulfill you, then I hate to break it to you, but you're going to keep falling. You have to choose to love yourself more. And I love my husband more than anything in this world, believe me. And we have the most beautiful relationship. We really do. Yeah, I know at the end of the day, he can't complete me. I like to think of love and our partnership as just an additional throw pillow or an additional blanket in our home. It's about you having a home and having a kitchen and having a bed and you having everything that you need to complete you, to have a home. But you want that blankie because that blankie is soft and that blankie is a beautiful color and that beautiful blankie can keep you warm. You really want that blankie in your life because you know that that blankie is going to provide you with a better experience in your home. That's how I would like and to encourage you to think about love. Think about it as just a blanket in a already furnished home that you have. Self-love is no longer an option. It's essential. So this moment of complete heartbreak led to my greatest blessing. It led to my Levi. It led to my Zephyr. And every heartbreak that you experience leads you to your next great love. And so I hope that this story inspires you and it reminds you that self-love has to come first. Before any man, before any person, before any woman. You can't truly love anyone until you love yourself. Your husband is out there waiting for you to choose to love yourself so that he can choose to love you. Or your partner, your spouse is out there waiting for you to choose to love yourself so they can finally love you. Let that sink in. And so if you are looking to love yourself, I just want to give you 3 really quick tools to help you to strengthen your self-love. It's recognizing that your worth is within. It's not in someone's validation. It's within you. You are deserving. You are worthy of everything you desire. And there's nothing you need to do to have it or to achieve it or to receive it. You're worthy just because you're alive, just because you're breathing. Sometimes we chase love because we need validation that we're enough. And I want to suggest that you turn that inward and you affirm that you are whole and complete just as you are. And so affirm to yourself that I am deserving of love just as I am without needing someone else to prove it. That's good. That's good. Put that in the chat. I am deserving of love just as I am without needing someone else to prove it. I am deserving of love just as I am without needing someone else to prove it. Put that in the chat. Let that be your affirmation for today. Second, set boundaries and honor them. And boundaries, oh my goodness. Fuck, I'm going to say it again. I hated fucking boundaries. I hated boundaries. But now I love boundaries. Boundaries are beautiful. Part of self-love is knowing when to walk away from a situation that doesn't serve your highest good. And chasing love comes from a fear of losing someone, a fear of being alone. But learning to set boundaries, even when it's hard, is an act of self-love. It's an act of self-respect. It's an act of dignity. So stop giving your energy to people who can't love you fully. And start giving that energy back to yourself. Instead of waiting for that person to take you out on a date, take yourself out on a date. Instead of waiting for that person to buy you flowers, buy yourself flowers. So have boundaries. And the last thing is to fill your cup up first with self-love and self-compassion before you give to anyone else. This applies to any relationship in your life, not just a romantic relationship. You truly can't give what you don't have. You can't give what you don't have. You can't give what you don't have. You can't give what you don't have. You've heard it before, but let that sink in. Instead of chasing external love, focus on nourishing yourself. Create daily routines that bring you joy. Like I shared yesterday about creating a powerful morning routine. I am geeked out on morning routines, people. I truly believe that our morning routine sets our whole entire day. And when you choose to have a morning routine, it sets you up to self-love all day long. And so whatever it is that is self-love for you, self-care for you, whether it's a morning routine or it's meditation or going swimming or getting your nails done or dancing, I don't care what it is. Just fill up your own cup. Feed yourself before you try to feed anyone else. And by loving yourself first, you're going to attract a love that matches the respect and the care that you give yourself. And so I want to leave you with this. I'll remind you that you are enough, that you are whole, that there's nothing you need to do, there's nothing you need to be, but to just be your own beautiful, powerful self. I love you and I see you. And if you are working on healing your heartbreak and you are ready to finally attract the love of your life, then I want to encourage you to get in touch with me. I have a course, Heal Heartbreak, Make Love, which is designed just for that, helping you to heal your heartbreak and to find love, to come back into self-love, which is honestly the secret of the course. I'm just giving it to you. It's the secret of the course. To then manifest, to then attract the partner that you desire externally. It's my most popular course, my best-selling course, Heal Heartbreak, Make Love. It's $97, and it will change your life. I promise you, money back guarantee. If it doesn't help you, if you don't heal from it, if you don't get something from it, then reach out to me, and I will give you a full refund. But I promise that this course will change your life. If you're in a relationship already and things are getting a little, shaky, then I have a course for you, Harmonizing Relationships, which helps you to go from heartbroken in your relationship to healed in your relationship. And I have other courses as well, from, my chakra course to my sacred sexuality course, my cord cutting course, my conscious communication course. I'm working on another course right now in introducing play in your relationship, to introduce more play in your life. So I have a lot. I also have a lot of free content. So wherever you are at, whether you have $1,000,000 or you have nothing, I always have something to give. And again, I do one-on-one coaching. It's really where my heart is. It's you and me solving the problems, helping you to heal, helping you to transcend, and to become and be the version of yourself that you already are in your heart. So I love you guys. Please communicate with me. Please talk to me. Please comment. Please use this group. I want to see you guys chatting. I want this community to, really be lit up. I'm really, really passionate about this. If you can't tell, I'm really passionate about this. I walked away from my little boy. I just heard him screaming downstairs. I'm going to go to attend to him. But I walked away because this is also my baby. Helping you, empowering you, motivating you, loving you is also my baby. And I want to help. I really have a huge fucking heart, ladies. I have a huge fucking heart. Do you feel my fucking heart? I love deeply. And I remember, I'm crying. Do you see my tears? I'm crying. I remember all of those moments of being brokenhearted. I remember chasing man after man after man after man, hoping that he would love me, that he would want me, that he would choose me. And they never did. Maybe for a moment. I would give my body away to men. I would have meaningless sex, thinking that if I gave my body to men, if I gave them pleasure, that they would give me love. But you guys know it never works. I gave my time and my energy until I chose to choose self-love, until I chose dignity. And now I am happy. I'm so fucking happy, people. I had the love of my life who was always fucking there. He was always there. I just was so goddamn blind. I was so blind I couldn't even see him. For 5 years, he was standing right there. Through every heartbreak of every man, he was right there. And so, if I would have got that kiss from Jay at the airport, I wouldn't be kissing my little Zephyr right now. So I love you guys so much. Let me know in the chat, please. Let me know how you felt about this, what inspired you, what you took from it, what you learned. It helps me. And we have a powerful workshop coming, what's the date? September 18th, and it's on the power of self-love, your path to healing. So let me know if you have any questions, guys. I love you. Kisses. Bye.